Welcome to In the Spotlight with Amy Scruggs, where we feature great artists, entrepreneurs, community leaders, and, well, anyone that should have that moment to share their story in the spotlight. Welcome to another episode of In the Spotlight. We've got a fantastic guest lined up. Another incredible musician, artist in Bluegrass on RBR Entertainment. We have Mike Sumner. We're going to hear about his music, his background, his love for music, the songs, the fans, and all of it. Mike, thank you so much for being with us today on the show.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Okay, Mike, we want to know the background with music because every artist has a great story. And that's what I love about music and artists, because no one is the same. So it's time that we get to hear your story today. When did this all begin for you in music?
This all began for me in, probably about 5 years old. My dad was teaching himself to play banjo out of the Earl Scruggs book.
I love the last name.
Kind of a popular name in this genre.
So you're...
I 32. And apparently I was just wanting to be like my daddy. And when he played, I wanted to play. He said that I used to grab the banjo by the neck, drag around one that he bought for me, and would cry until he taught me something. I don't remember that. At 5 years old, trying to get the fingers to move the way you wanted to on this. Oh, you get so frustrated. But he did that. He taught himself to play that and guitar. We ended up having a family band. So through I'd say from 10 years old until 15, 16, I played in the family band. And from there, I went to local regional bands and then ended up moving to Nashville later in life. I think up around 40, and started playing with Randy Kohrs and several other people. Ended up with Billy Droze. That's where I met Billy Droze.
He's such a great guy. We love Billy. But where was home for you before coming to Nashville?
Southern Indiana was where I grew up. Near that particular part of the country had a lot of a bluegrass influence. People like Michael Cleveland on the fiddle, Stewart on the banjo. He came from that same area. From there, I went to Michigan for a little while, about 6 years, and then from there to Tennessee.
I love it. I've had a great experience of being in Nashville back and forth for years, and it's just such a magical place. I can't imagine what that transition was like for you to go from Indiana and having music be a part of your blood to actually make it to Music City and start that process. What did it feel for you when you made it to Nashville? What took place inside of you that was like, wow, I'm here?
This
stuff feels.
Driving into town the first time when I was moving in, and I'm coming in. I guess I was on the north side of town, bringing Interstate 24 in, and you see the cityscape and then the Batman building. I was just breathless. It took my breath away a little bit. And pinch yourself. And
right.
Job, I had a band right off the bat, so it just worked out. The stars aligned well, and I love it here. It feels like home to me.
I know the feeling. I still cry when I fly in and I can see that building. We see the city line and we land. I immediately start crying. It just has that hold on me forever. With learning instruments and being a part of a band and having it be a part of your DNA, really playing with the family. What about the vocal part of it though? The instrumentation is one thing, but to realize that you've got the talent and the desire to be a singer and really take these songs and bring them to life to create that emotional connection with your audience. When did that take place for you?
Yeah, so I've always been kind of the backup singer. My brother and dad were the main lead singers in the band. But, you sing in the band and you have that family time. You're just like any family, you have this special blend of harmony and taught how to really listen, find your part. And there's something about stacked family harmony seems no matter where you go. There's few bands that can make it sound like that. And so really the transition, it was one hand is an instrument, the other hand you got to sing something. You can't. Now I will say playing the banjo with the dexterity required is a lot of us just sit there and don't say anything. Like with Billy, I don't sing much. With Dale Ann, I sing occasionally. With a few other bands, I've sing occasionally as well.
It's such a fun experience as a fan to watch family members that are up playing together and singing together. There is, you're right. There's something magical about that. At some point though, you decided to kind of break off and start out on your own with your own music. Did you write your own songs? When did you say, okay, it's time for me to really, I know you came to Nashville. How was that for you to be then separated from that comfort of being with the family versus being on your own now?
So the family separation happened whenever I was a teenager, started playing with local bands like Patoka Valley Boys. And then from there, played with them for a long time and moved to Michigan and started a regional band called Detour.
Nice.
By that, Dad was still playing music with his little band that was no longer family. It was just him and Mama. But we did the Detour thing, and that was kind of cool to break away from Southern Indiana and your roots and bring Southern Indiana Bluegrass to Northern Michigan there in Traverse City. And that band ended up having some really good hits. And from there, I moved to Nashville. And that's around the time that I moved to Nashville was the time that I was going through a lot of transitions. And that's when all the songs came out.
So that's when the songwriting really kind of hit a course. So you write a lot of stuff that's personal, I take it.
And, it's interesting. I have a lot of friends who go to writing sessions. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like a formula, and they come away with this really cool song. But for me, it's I'm a little more emotional, I guess. And when I feel or hear the song, I let it out.
What are some of the songs that have been your favorite at recording? Let's talk about your prior projects, your recording process, and what your music has been like in the studio.
So the first time I did a personal project was in 2006 and 7. It was released in 2007. That's where the song Winds of Winfield came from, and we re-released it with Billy here recently. That was really cool to sit there in the studio for the first time. In Nashville, I had done it in Northern Michigan with Detour, and we released our own project. It's just such a cool process to sit there and to be the one who can create. You're not reading music. You might be reading a chart and you know where the chords are, but the voice of the instrument is all you. And the cool, unique breaks and twists little turns that you put in, that's all you. Your personality being laid down into music. And so to me, that is just so, I don't know, it's hard to replace that with any other activity.
It's magical, isn't it?
It is. It really is. And there's been some crazy things. One time I was recording with Dale Ann in the Nashville area, and I think it was with, I'm pretty sure she was with Pinecastle at the time. And when she was doing that, I think, I'm trying to remember who was managing the project. It might have been, I'm not sure who it was, but it'll come to me. But Michael Cleveland was recording the fiddle, and he and I were playing at the same time. There's a process where you can record one instrument and go back and lay another instrument on top of it until you finally have this band finished project and do it live. Well, the fiddle and myself, we were doing it live together. And there was a couple sections in that recording where we fed off each other and played the exact same notes for a little bit, did our own thing, played together, and then did our own thing again. That's just so cool.
It's just the coolest experience. You can't put words to it. Watching your music come to life like that, being able to release it out there. What is your relationship with the fans in these songs? Are there certain songs that have just really resonated with your followers? Yeah.
So the one I referenced is probably the one that they like the most, and that's the Winds of Winfield. That's the one that was written on the way home from winning the National Banjo Championship. My dad's driving. I'm sitting in the passenger shotgun seat, and the song just hit me, like I was saying earlier. When I play that with Billy and the band, Billy Droze and Kentucky Blue, or any other band for that matter, I don't know if it's the rhythm or the rhythm and the melody combined or what, but that song seems to resonate with a lot of people. And if a song resonates with you, between you and with those listening, it's almost a bond is created, and I don't know, you become family over a song.
It's true. It's absolutely true that that experience where people know you, they associate you with that song, you create an emotion, create a response to the bond forever that can take place through the power of music. That is just so beautiful. Did you realize when you were younger that this really would be a part of your whole life?
I had no clue.
What?
No, I was trying to be like my daddy, you know.
Right, right. What projects are you working on now? What is coming up for next